On March 8, 2017, you wrote an article for Time magazine while you were a sitting judge. It's entitled Judge, Gender Laws Are at Odds with Science. I'm going to quote your words. When legislators blur the lines of church and state and enact laws that permit or prohibit conduct based on biological gender as only male or female, they place an impossible burden on the judiciary. End quote. Did I read that accurately?
I do not know because I don't have the article in front of me.
Well, I do. You also said in that article, quote, your words, not mine, sex has countless natural permutations, end quote. Did I read that correctly?
I believe that is consistent with medical science and under the Daubert standard, the science that comes in as expert testimony in trials.
On October 13, 2020, while you were serving as a state judge.
Okay, so you just saw that clip. And I know some of you are already fired up because I was too the first time I watched it. What you just witnessed is Senator John Kennedy doing something almost nobody in Washington has the spine to do anymore. Holding a judicial nominee accountable for her own words. Not accusations. Not rumors. Her own words. Before we watch the full thing together, let me say this. I've seen a lot of confirmation hearings. Most of them are political theater. Senators grandstand, nominees dodge, everybody goes home. But this one is different. And by the time we're done, you'll see exactly why. Kennedy walked in prepared. Articles printed out. Quotes highlighted. Dates, publications, the whole thing. And the nominee's response? I don't have the article in front of me. 3 times. For her own writing. That alone should tell you something. Hit that like button if you believe judges should be held to a higher standard, and subscribe if you're new here. Let's get into the full video.
Thank you, Senator Butler. Senator Kennedy.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Judge Wise, you're not being honest with us, are you?
That is incorrect.
Well, we all may be poorer under President Biden, but we're not stupid. We have a long list of your articles and your opinions and your political statements. Judge, you wrote an article for The Atlantic entitled, quote, your words, not mine, America's judiciary doesn't look like America. And you criticized this committee and President Trump for his judicial nominees. You said, quote, these are your words, not mine. The judiciary crafted over the past 4 years does not look like America. Not one of these judges is black, and more than 90% were raised or currently identify as Christians. I don't know how you knew that. And then you say, quote, your words, not mine. Identity is the lens that filters everything and everyone we encounter, end quote. Did I read that correctly?
Again, I don't know because I don't have the article in front of me.
I got it right here. You wrote another article on July 31, 2020 for the San Francisco Daily Journal, in which you advocate for the right of sitting judges to be able to go to protests, didn't you?
That is incorrect.
No, it's not. I'm looking at it right here. This is what you say. No judge should be ethical. Your words, not mine. You just said you didn't say them. You turned these articles over. No judge should be ethically constrained from speaking or taking action that reinforces that constitutional and moral imperative. May judges participate in demonstrations that denounce racism, support equal justice, and reinforce our constitutional rights to free speech and peaceable assembly? Yes. End quote. Did I read that correctly?
I don't know because I don't have the article in front of me.
If you're a federal judge, are you going to go to protests?
I would like to answer the substance of the underlying question that was asked.
I'd like you to answer my question. I've only got another minute or so. If you're a federal, let me put it another way. Have you ever gone to a protest, a public protest, while you're a sitting judge?
Senator Kennedy, the article that you are referring to
Have you ever gone
written,
to a protest while you're a sitting judge?
I do not believe that I have ever attended a protest as a sitting judge, or perhaps ever in my life.
And you talk about Girls Inc. You say you've never heard of them. You were on the, or you don't know that much about them. You were on the board from 2014 to 2024. You're still on their board, aren't you?
I'm not. My term expired this last month.
And you've given them over $50,000, haven't you?
I do not believe that is correct.
That's what your report says. And this is the same Girls Inc. that says, quote, on its website, here's how they define girls. Quote, girls refers to gender-expansive youth, cis girls, trans girls, non-binary youth, gender and non-conforming youth, genderqueer youth, and any girl-identified youth. Did I read that correctly?
I don't know. I've never heard of that policy or that definition
Right.
from
Never
Girls
heard
Inc.
Listen, in spite of your, can I just have 30 more seconds? In spite of your strongly held political beliefs, and we've got all of them, all your articles, they're as long as King Kong's are. Are you telling us today, do you believe that you will not allow your strongly held political beliefs to influence your judicial opinions? Do you believe that?
The best evidence of the type of federal judge I will be
Yes,
the
ma'am.
type of
Do you
judge.
believe that? Do you believe that?
Is the type of judge I have been for 10 years, who is one who always puts the law above my personal
Do you
views.
also believe in Bigfoot? Do you believe in the Tooth Fairy?
Your time has expired, Senator.
Do you believe Jimmy Hoffa died of natural causes?
Senator Hirono.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Lean back, take a breath. All right, we just watched the whole thing. And honestly, my respect for Senator Kennedy only went up. Let me break down why. The preparation. Kennedy didn't come to that hearing to make speeches. He came with a file. Time Magazine, The Atlantic, the San Francisco Daily Journal. Specific dates, specific quotes. This is what real legislative oversight looks like. While other senators are asking softballs, Kennedy is reading her published opinions back to her word for word. That is his job, and he did it well. I don't have the article in front of me, Dodge. This is the part that got me. These are her articles, her thoughts, her words in major national publications. And every single time Kennedy quotes her, the answer is, I don't know because I don't have it in front of me. Think about that. If someone quoted something you wrote and read it back to you, would you say, I'm not sure? No. You'd know. Or you'd at least say it sounds consistent with what you believe. The fact that she wouldn't own those words tells me one of two things. Either she doesn't stand behind what she wrote when it's politically inconvenient, or she is deliberately avoiding honest answers. Neither is a good look for someone seeking a lifetime appointment. The substance of the quotes. She wrote that gender laws are at odds with science. She wrote that sex has countless natural permutations. She wrote that judges should not be constrained from attending protests. She sat on the board of an organization that defines girls to include any self-identified girl. These are strong, deliberate, published opinions from someone who wants to be a federal judge for life. The committee has every right, actually they have a duty, to ask about them. Kennedy was making sure that duty was fulfilled. The ending. The Bigfoot line made me laugh, but underneath the sarcasm, there is real frustration. Kennedy asked a simple, direct question. Do you believe your political beliefs will influence your judicial opinions? Instead of a straight answer, she launched into a speech about her 10-year record. He didn't have time for the spin. Neither do we. Look into camera. Here is the bottom line. Federal judges serve for life. Once confirmed, they are essentially untouchable, which means the vetting process matters enormously. What Kennedy showed in that room is that vetting should be thorough, honest, and uncomfortable when necessary. He didn't attack her personally. He didn't raise his voice. He read her words back to her and asked her to account for them. That is not cruelty. That is doing your job. Drop a comment below. Was Kennedy too aggressive? Was the nominee justified? Let's talk about it. Subscribe if you aren't already, and I'll see you in the next one.